Once upon a time, in a bustling little village nestled between lush hills, there was a young woman named Ava who struggled with an unruly mind. No matter how peaceful her surroundings were, or how much she tried to focus, her thoughts were like a hyperactive monkey, constantly jumping from one branch of worry to another. This monkey mind would swing from thoughts about work to concerns about her relationships to worries about her health, often in a blur of chaos. Ava found herself overwhelmed and tired, unable to quiet the noise that filled her head. It wasn't until one day, when she had an especially sleepless night full of restless thoughts, that she decided something had to change. Determined to find peace, Ava traveled to the village's wise elder, a woman known for her calm demeanor and serene presence. She found the elder sitting under a large oak tree, its roots stretching deep into the earth, its branches swaying gently in the wind. "Grandmother, my mind is restless and filled with noise. How do I stop these intrusive thoughts that disturb my peace?" Ava asked, her voice trembling. The elder smiled softly, her eyes twinkling with understanding. She motioned for Ava to sit beside her, and as Ava did, she began to speak in a calm, measured tone. "The mind is like a monkey, always jumping around. It seeks constant distraction and restlessness. But with patience and practice, you can train this monkey, just as you would tame a wild animal." Ava listened intently, eager to learn. "The first step," the elder began, "is awareness. You must become aware of the monkey. Without awareness, you are like a leaf being tossed by the wind, carried by whatever thought arises. You must notice when your mind begins to race, when it starts leaping from one worry to the next." Ava nodded, understanding that the first challenge was recognizing when her mind had gone into overdrive. "Don't fight the monkey immediately," the elder continued. "Simply observe it. Without judgment, notice its movements. When you become aware of the thoughts, you have already taken the first step toward taming it. The second step," the elder said, "is breathing. When the monkey leaps and scampers in your mind, your breath becomes shallow and erratic, but the breath can be your anchor." Ava felt intrigued. "How can breathing help?" "Close your eyes and focus on your breath," the elder instructed. "Inhale deeply, slowly, through your nose, and exhale gently through your mouth. As you breathe, feel your body grounding into the earth, your mind quieting, even if just for a moment. The breath has the power to bring you back to the present, to break the cycle of the monkey's madness." Ava closed her eyes and practiced, her chest rising and falling with each deep breath. Slowly, she felt her mind begin to settle, like a storm that was gradually losing its strength. The third step is noticing the thoughts, but without attaching to them. Your mind may still throw thoughts at you, worries, fears, doubts, but you don't need to follow them. Instead, imagine them as clouds drifting across the sky. You are the sky, vast and still, and the clouds are just passing through. Ava smiled at the imagery. "So, I don't need to react to each thought?" "Exactly," the elder said. "Thoughts are like visitors. They come and go. It is only when you latch onto them, when you react with fear or judgment, that they grow. Let the thoughts come, but allow them to pass without grabbing hold." This practice of detachment is key to quieting the monkey mind. Ava found herself nodding, realizing how often she had clung to each intrusive thought, as if it were a truth she had to address immediately. The fourth step is to engage the monkey in productive ways. You see, the monkey does not want to sit still. It needs activity, focus. So, give it something worthwhile to do. The elder handed Ava a small stone. "This is a symbol. When you feel your mind starting to race, try focusing on something concrete, a task, a hobby, something you enjoy. It could be a creative activity, like painting or writing, or something physical, like going for a walk. Giving the monkey a healthy distraction can calm its restlessness. Ava held the stone in her hand, turning it over and over, feeling its smooth surface. It reminded her of how grounding a simple task could be. She had forgotten the joy of small activities that brought her back to the present moment. "The final step is compassion," the elder said gently. "Remember, the monkey mind is not your enemy. It is a part of you, just as your emotions, your desires, and your fears are. Instead of criticizing it, show it kindness. Understand that the monkey is scared, anxious, seeking attention. When you are compassionate, the monkey will feel heard and slowly settle." Ava felt a shift in her heart. She realized she had been hard on herself for not being able to silence her thoughts. Now, she understood that being kind to herself, and even to her racing mind, was an important part of the healing process. Ava returned home that evening, her heart lighter than it had been in weeks. She practiced the steps the elder had shared with her. At first, the monkey mind was still loud and unruly, but with each passing day, Ava found herself more and more capable of observing her thoughts without getting lost in them. She learned to breathe deeply when the thoughts became overwhelming. She would pause, close her eyes, and let her breath anchor her to the present. When worries or fears arrived, she practiced noticing them without attaching to them, letting them float by like passing clouds. And when she needed focus, she turned her attention to a creative task or a simple action that could ground her. Over time, Ava realized that her thoughts no longer ruled her. The monkey mind, while still active at times, was no longer a source of chaos. It was simply part of her mind, and with patience, awareness, and compassion, she had learned to coexist with it. One day, while sitting under the same oak tree where she had met the elder, Ava smiled at the memory of their conversation. She had learned to quiet the storm within her, not by fighting it, but by understanding it, breathing through it, and giving it a peaceful space to rest. And so, with her mind at peace, Ava's days became more grounded, more joyful, and full of purpose, no longer ruled by an unruly monkey, but guided by a calm, steady heart.